The name Logan Paul is certainly one of the biggest in the world of influencers as of 2024. Starting his career as a mere actor in Disney before blowing up platforms like YouTube, there are still a couple of hidden facts that many people don't see. In fact, the social narrative often portrays him as being one of the best people ever. However, there are always a couple of things that seem to be a little frustrating when it comes to Logan Paul, and today we look at the scary truth about this Cincinnati native that many have either forgotten about or simply refused to acknowledge. Let's dive in. Who is Logan Paul? Logan Alexander Paul was born on April 1st, 1995 in Westlake, Ohio. Thanks to his familial heritage, he currently claims Welsh, Irish, Jewish, French, and German ancestry, although some of this is still up for debate. Whilst growing up, Paul realized that he was blessed with a natural athletic ability, and he was also named the Plain Dealers All-Star Linebacker in 2012. But aside from football, he also dabbled in amateur wrestling, actually qualifying for the coveted state-level Ohio High School Athletic Association 2013 Division I Wrestling Individual Championship. This would later become something of high importance in the life of the oldest Paul brother, and he would go on to join the likes of WWE, where he would rise to even more fame and have a bigger platform from which he could influence the world. Logan found himself being a 20-year-old and seeking some new and creative way of making a living. He turned to Vine in October 2015, where he also found himself living in the same apartment complex on Hollywood and Vine, where numerous other social media influencers were living. It is here where Logan started finding connections in numerous social media videos where he collaborated with other influencers and came to the forefront, launching his stardom into a new stratosphere of success. Whilst this somewhat successful Vine channel took off, it was his move to YouTube that truly showed his creativity and just how influential the future WWE superstar could be. Trying out boxing. After slowly training himself in boxing and winning his first amateur bout against Joe Weller, Paul found himself occasionally entrenched in social media battles with other influencers. One of these would be the famous KSI, who would actually challenge Paul to a boxing match on February 24th, 2018. KSI would ultimately be the technical winner, as two judges were undecided on the fight, and the final judge scored it 58-57 in favor of KSI. Due to the controversy, a rematch was something that needed to happen, and this was to be held on November 9th, 2019. Once again, this would end in a victory for KSI, totally embarrassing Logan Paul. But it was perhaps his comments earlier when he accused KSI of having 5 abortions. This drew out the ire of those who supported abortion, whilst he would receive some support from numerous anti-abortion activists. But perhaps the most notorious boxing match of his young career would be when Paul decided that an exhibition match against Floyd Mayweather might perhaps save his career. The build-up to the match truly tested both men, and both had resorted to extremely underhanded tactics in insulting each other. However, it would ultimately be Mayweather winning the bout and keeping his streak alive. This would lead to the final Logan Paul bout, where he would come face-to-face with mixed martial artist Dillon Danis. This is where we start seeing the ugly side of Logan Paul as a human being. You see, during the build-up, both would be quite hateful, with Danis constantly sharing photos of Paul's fiancée with other women. This would lead to Paul serving Danis with a lawsuit. The bout would continue and Danis would be disqualified after attempting to perform an illegal choke on Paul. Security stepped in and Paul would win his first competitive or professional fight by disqualification. If we combine the total record of Logan Paul in the boxing ring, you will notice that he only won a single one of the fights, but this was also due to disqualification. It even helped propel him to superstardom, and he would find himself on the WWE roster. Becoming Logan Paul. Throughout this journey, Logan Paul continued to push himself, and he would find himself signing a lucrative contract with WWE in 2021. In fact, the WWE noticed how well younger audiences would resonate with the older Paul brother, and thanks to his successful podcast, Impulsive, it has certainly worked out. Logan would only work occasionally, and he would be pushed significantly in his first run, even winning the United States Championship. But this would occasionally frustrate fans who wanted to see the title being defended on shows more frequently. Logan Paul has had an incredible run in the WWE so far, and he has certainly amassed a massive following. But one question remains whether or not Logan Paul intended to enhance the product or simply to help line his own pockets with more money. So here is the scary truth. The scary truth about Logan Paul. When you enter a market like Paul and KSI have done with Prime, it is often extremely hard to break into any market. With the likes of the big energy drink companies and Gatorade all being established names, Logan Paul needed a way to bring his product to the forefront of attention among consumers. It is here where many start to question his intentions with everything he is doing. You see, Paul has even negotiated a deal with his employer, the WWE, where the Prime brand will be endorsed at every show. This is basically publicity that helps line his pockets even more. Now, this is not even to mention the teams he is sponsoring. Whilst there is absolutely no doubt about the skill and talent of Logan Paul, you rarely see superstars having the opportunity to promote their brand on such a big scale. But this all started with him actually choosing to break kayfabe on his very own podcast. You see, wrestling is acting, where people simply just play characters who have different roles to play. It is kayfabe that has made the WWE such a believable product for many years. However, the rise of the internet has also meant that kayfabe is dying, and we now get a glimpse behind the scenes of everything going on. Logan Paul realized this and started having numerous wrestlers on his podcast. It is his use of these big names that have drawn millions of viewers to his YouTube channel. What many might not know is that this is not an abuse of his position, but rather the genius that is Logan Paul making moves that would help further his own career. In fact, he has been given some of the privileges that no one else, including the likes of The Undertaker, were afforded so early in his career. Now, the burning question remains what the intentions of Logan Paul are, and he is actually trying to help build the brands that give him a platform to be a superstar, or he is simply using them to help kickstart his brand. Perhaps Logan might even choose the path of Tony Khan and create his very own wrestling promotion, as was done with AEW. The fact of the matter is that this young kid has always been underestimated, and whilst some of his methods are frowned upon, Logan Paul has managed to defy virtually every odd that someone has tried to put in front of him. What does the future hold? There is no denying that if Logan Paul does choose to return to the world of boxing, it would be simply to have some fun and to make some money. He certainly does not need any more publicity. Many expect him to eventually climb to the top of WWE, earning his first WWE title. However, the popularity of Cody Rhodes and a returning Roman Reigns does make this seem very unlikely in the near future. Whilst this might piss off a couple of diehard WWE fans, Logan Paul is not that different from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You see, whilst many people view the WWE as entertainment, both these have used it as a way of pushing their own brands and attaining success. But what do you think? Will Logan Paul eventually become the most popular influencer in the world, and will he continue pushing as hard as he has been with his current success? The fact of the matter is that this young man from Cincinnati is heavily focused on success and building an empire. But as unique as the Logan Paul story might be, make sure to check out the truth about the legendary Mike Tyson next.